Here's what's new tonight at 11. The first pictures of the teenagers suspected of opening fire on a high school near Atlanta, Georgia. Good evening. This shooting comes exactly 1 month to the day after the deadly shooting in Colorado.
Here's the very latest. Tonight, 6 students are recovering from gunshot wounds. The 15-year-old suspect is charged as a juvenile with aggravated assault, but tonight prosecutors say they plan to charge him as an adult. This shooting has stunned the community of Conyers, Georgia. News 2 reporter Lou Young has the latest live from the scene. Lou?
The young suspect is in a juvenile detention center not far from here tonight. 4 of the victims are still hospitalized, although 3 are in for observation only. Only 1 is seriously injured. An exhausted calm is settling over this community tonight. With Heritage High School still a crime scene tonight, the local school board met as scheduled under a palpable sense of relief. People in this suburban Atlanta community started the day with images of the Littleton, Colorado carnage in their heads. But the nightmare was somehow averted. 6 high school students were shot by a classmate, but all will recover.
So I was at work and I heard that, that someone was shot at Rockdale County, and my heart sunk just like every other parent, I'm sure.
The 15-year-old sophomore walked into the commons area of Heritage High just before 8 in the morning. He took a position near the girls' restroom and started shooting.
Like pow, 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 pow when it went off.
I was getting dropped off by my grandma, and then all of a sudden I saw everybody running out, and I thought we had a bomb threat or something, and then Drake had his foot all bloody and he was shot.
He carried 2 guns into the school, both .22s, a handgun and a rifle with a shortened stock. People who know the young man say he just broke up with a girlfriend, was distraught, and told at least one person he had no reason to live. At the end of the shooting, he put the handgun in his mouth as if to commit suicide, but stopped when an assistant principal approached him. He broke down in tears and surrendered to the principal, begging for forgiveness. But tonight, the local district attorney is not in a forgiving mood. He outlined for me the charges he intends to file against the juvenile.
We expect that there will be multiple charges involving aggravated assault. There will be multiple charges of cruelty to children. We also expect there will be multiple weapons and firearms charges involved in this particular incident.
You want to charge this young man as an adult?
I want to charge this young man as an adult.
That will likely come at a hearing set for Monday. Now, tonight, some of the victims are speaking out for the first time. As we mentioned at the top, all will recover, but none will forget what happened today.
I saw it pointed at me, but I really couldn't do anything about it. I don't think he was aiming for me. I think he was just randomly firing. He had a gun, like a rifle, black rifle, down by his hip, and he was just pumping, just firing away. I got outside and just talking to a couple of my friends, and we couldn't believe what happened. And then my foot was hurting really bad, and I took off my shoe, and it was just saturated. My sock was just pouring with blood and stuff like that.
Because of what happened at Littleton, the police spent a lot of the day looking for bombs in the school. They didn't find any. They did detonate 2 suspicious packages that were ultimately harmless. We're told all schools in this district will be open tomorrow except Heritage High. Heritage High will be open on Monday. We're live in Conyers, Georgia. Lou Young, News 2.
All right, thank you, Lou. Tonight, 1 month after the Columbine shooting, President Clinton flew to Colorado to meet with family members of those massacre victims there. News 2 reporter Drew Levinson standing by live in Littleton tonight with what the president said. Drew?
Well, Stephen, it has been a month since 2 students walked into Columbine High School, opened fire, and killed 12 students and 1 teacher. Since then, this area, this community, has been in mourning. Today, President Clinton was here to comfort them. On the day of another high school shooting, the President and First Lady came to Colorado to console a community still reeling from its own high school tragedy.
We know somehow that what happened to you has pierced the soul of America.
Mrs. Clinton also addressed the group of area leaders, rescue workers, and students.
And to promise ourselves that we will do everything we can to prevent it from happening anywhere else.
Before the speeches, the Clintons met privately at a local church with the victims' families.
There's changes need to be made, and I told them, if we don't change them now, we might not never get a chance to change them.
Shoal's son Isaiah was one of the 13 people killed April 20th when Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris opened fire at Columbine High School. Patrick Ireland, the student seen here being pulled from a second-story window by police, attended the president's speech. Mr. Clinton told the Columbine students they can set an example for the rest of the country by building a nation of less hate and distrust. Many of the students agree.
I think we already are an example to the country, and it's just up to us to carry on that positive effect that we've had.
And since the Columbine tragedy, President Clinton has lobbied for stricter gun control. So on this day of one school shooting and the memory of another, the Senate approved a measure tightening the nation's gun laws. Dana?
Okay, Drew, and the Senate vote on that. They approved the measure 73 to 25 today. The vote came after heated debate over an amendment requiring background checks for weapons sales at gun shows and pawn shops. Vice President Al Gore had to cast a supporting vote to break a 50-50 tie. The bill also requires that handguns be sold with safety devices. And a new survey out tonight shows 2/3 of Americans support tougher gun restrictions